Hi guys, welcome to Snakes and Adders. We'll crack on with this and hope that it's as pain-free as possible. I've already had a little kiss just to start off. We're going to continue our intermediate series discussing this, which is the olive python from Australia. Very sought after by a lot of people, an awesome species, somewhat temperamental and easily triggered is probably the best way for me to put it, but all the same, fabulous. And as I always say with these intermediate and advanced series, you are keeping an intermediate or advanced series. If you get bit, deal with it. It is what it is. You can't expect some of this stuff that's maybe only 2-3 generations deep to be a lovely tame pet where you can boop its snoot and all this sort of stuff. You know, these are real snakes for real snake keepers. They aren't always friendly. They will make their displeasure known, and all the rest of it. So these are a large constricting python from Australia. They belong to the family Liasis. The Latin name is Liasis olivaceus. There are two subspecies known, Liasis olivaceus baroni and Liasis olivaceus olivaceus. Liasis olivaceus baroni occurs in the Pilbara region of Western Australia, whereas the type locality is Northern Territory, and that's Port Essington on the Coburg Peninsula. So that's given as the type locale. You'll have to forgive if you're getting little red marks appearing on the snake. That's my little opening present on my arm from just picking her up and holding her. So we'll see how quickly we can get through this without winding her up anymore. Once she's out and about, she's reasonably personable, but just in the viv you might find that they're a bit territorial. They may react with a little bit of hostility to begin with, but then they soon calm down as long as we stay relaxed. Oh, he says. You have another go, don't you, just to show me up? Never mind. So, adult sizes, your females are going to reach anywhere around 10 feet in length. The boys are going to be 8, maybe 9 feet at a push. Max recorded size is a little over 4 meters, so we're talking about 12-foot snake. That makes them a very, very large snake to deal with, and a lot bigger than a lot of people can cope with, and they're a lot more triggered than a lot of people can cope with. So definitely a species that would need research and looking into to make sure that we're going to keep them to the very best of our ability. They are excellent feeders. They feed like mad. They grow really well. This is a CB16 girl. She's been grown on at a modest rate. She's, I don't know, she's got to be 5 feet now, I would think. Absolutely stunning. Now what they do have is very fine granular scales, and they have a nasty habit of having crappy sheds in captivity. People misread the locality data as being bone dry, and they're commonly found by water sources, and they regularly bathe in the wild. So there would be some base level humidity or water there to be able to soak and get the skin off. So if they're kept bone dry in captivity, what we're going to quickly achieve is lots of bad sheds. Because of the notoriously thin skin, we may even get skin tearing as well. So this is something that we're going to need to watch. Also, we're going to look and make sure that when we purchase our animals that we check their eyes to make sure that they're fully developed. Years back, with the original animals that were available back in the mid-90s, there was a population of snakes knocking about that seemed to have very small eyes or underdeveloped eyes, or the socket was small, the eye was in there, but the scales were overdeveloped. This could be down to a small genetic pool that they were being bred from, possibly, who knows, but it's just definitely worth checking the eyes, making sure that the eyes are fully developed, as it's a known thing. Cohabitation is a no-no. This animal is known to have cannibalistic tendencies, so we're going to watch that quite keenly. You know, they've been known to feed on carpets and scrub pythons in the wild. They're also big enough to take rock wallabies, which is pretty impressive. A stomach wash spread gives about 25% reptiles, 25% birds, 50% mammals. So that was listed in Barker and Barker Pythons of the World, Australia. Other bits of information that are of use: average clutch size is 19.8 eggs with a range of 14 to 31 eggs. Egg weight 122 grams per egg with a range of 83 to 165 grams. Hatchling weight was listed by Barker and Barker as hatchling length was listed as 70.2 centimeters with a range of 55 to 88 centimeters. Hatchling weight 71.2 grams with a range of 44 to 92 grams. So in captivity, we're going to brumate them to be able to try and season them. Where they deviate from some of the other stuff that we'll discuss when we get them in, which would be the white lips, the Bismarcks and stuff, their brumation takes place and they have a very protracted dry season, whereas with a lot of the animals, particularly the stuff listed in the reproductive husbandry of pythons and boas, you will find that humidity is one of the variables that will raise itself whilst the nighttime low is going down and the daytime high maintains to create the normal typical cycle of boas and pythons. The olive pythons prefer a dry season in the build-up, so they would have a longer, cooler night, taking a nighttime low down to about 26 degrees Celsius, whereas your normal nighttime low would be about 28 degrees Celsius. Your daytime basking high would be 33, but as we get into bigger tanks, and we're going to be talking about big custom vivs, we're talking 8 feet in length probably for our big snakes. There's no discussion about gravid females being quite happy to bask at temperatures approaching 40 degrees Celsius, which is incredibly high for a python, far higher than anybody would normally suggest. Now, it is imperative, if we offer those sorts of temperatures, that we give the animal the opportunity to cool down and move away from that temperature as well. It's all well and good saying, well, they can take 40 degrees and they can, but in captivity we must make sure that there is an escape route. Hence why we're actually talking about very big vivs comparative to their size. So a 9-10 foot snake needing an 8 foot viv, well, that's so that we can give them the runoff to cool down from the 40 degree basking spot. Females will sun and raise their stomachs to the heat, and it's quite common for them to invert most of their body when they're gravid. And then the gestation's reasonably long at about 75 days, incubation about 65 days at 32 degrees. They have a long and slender head. They have got a single slit for a heat pit here in the nostrils, but most of them are in the labial scales down here, similar to the Antareisias, which is the spotted children Stimson's anthills. Their cousins within their group are the white-lipped python, which is Liasis albertesi, Matlock's, I completely cut that bit up. I'm completely wrong. Right, stop. Their cousins are the Matlock's python, Liasis matlocki, the Savu python, Liasis savuensis, and the brown water python, which is Liasis fuscus. The white-lipped python, my fault, is a different family. That's Leo python. So yeah, ignore that bit. So yeah, this is the biggest of its family. Incredibly impressive snakes. When they're freshly shed, they do have some iridescence, but they're not particularly iridescent snake. In truth, they are a bit plain Janey, but it's the fact that they're so rarely kept in captivity, the impressive size that they reach, and just that sort of mystery that surrounds them that makes them incredibly sought after. I think they're fabulous snakes. Definitely worth researching. Don't walk into them blind. There is a couple of little things, particularly I would take great interest in reading the Barker and Barker Pythons of the World Australia, about some of the notes they made about Oz, about the way that the Northern Territory works. The dry season, that does flip things round for the breeding. A lot of the other stuff we're talking about wet seasons, so that's interesting. Liasis olivaceus, do your research, read up on them, visit our website, which is www.snakesanadders.co.uk. We will keep the videos coming. I hope you enjoyed. As you can see, we're not really scripted, so cock-ups can happen as well. So yes, white lips aren't in this group, so I don't need any comments to the contrary. I cocked up. We'll keep the videos coming. All the best. Thanks for the support, guys. See you soon.